Is he dead? Yeah, I think he's dead. G'day ladies and gents, Cubic Midi here with how to kill a chest monster. In my previous video about storage tech, I demonstrated how we've come a long way since the regular item sorters, which are starting to become overwhelmed by the influx of new item types. In fact, Minecraft is on the verge of a storage crisis. As of 1.16, there are 735 stackable, survival obtainable item types. This is only going to grow as merging adds additional items to the game. In fact, we're going to need 25 separate item filters just to handle all the copper block variants. Fortunately, storage tech gurus from around the world have been working hard to find solutions to these issues. In fact, you'll often find me referencing these people as the inventors of very specific hardware that I've put together into a functional storage system. Welcome to the main storage of Elminga's Patreon server. Wait, I think I've done this before. You might remember my criticisms of this storage system from my previous video. Also, I think this pool might need a bit of a cleaning. Anyway, this isn't actually the storage system that you saw in the intro. That was a new design built specifically to capitalize on the lessons learned from this main storage. In fact, I need to emphasize how important it is to constantly reflect on your designs. Patreon main storage was a failure, but also an opportunity. It worked, but it can work so much better. The new storage design is simply better in every way. It not only doubles the amount of storage available for each item type, but it also makes the items available at every single stage of the sorting process. Which means you'll have access to anything from your least common items all the way to your most common items. And this is thanks to a number of innovations made by people in the tech community. The first component is this really neat box display that was originally designed by Command Leo and RAFQ. It's really awesome because it fits neatly beneath the floor where it can be accessed from the storage hall. What you have to do is hit this button, it'll place down the box, and if you empty the box, it'll automatically replace it like so. The next important feature is this really awesome, accessible mixed shulker box loader. The way it works is the instant that it detects that the box is full by the items overflowing up into these hoppers, it will zero tick this composter into the shulker box, meaning the item will fall into the composter. This box loader concept was originally conceived by Phrygion and then improved later on by VK Tech. Then we get to a sequential box sorter which was designed by a player named Inspector Talon along with these three guys. This sequential sorter is actually one of the critical components of the storage system. As you can see, I have a box here full of lots of mixed item types. However, this box unloader has an item filter that will only accept these crimson roots. So if I throw this box in, it'll place it down and take out only the roots. And then once it's finished removing the roots, it'll then eject the box, so we can send it back to the start to sort the rest of the items in the box. The box sorting is then done at the very top, using this contraption which is originally conceived by Rapscallion, but then heavily modified by me. And this is using the same box sorting concept that I introduced in my previous video, so check that out if you haven't already. And this is what I love about the storage tech community. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 separate contraptions which are like off-the-shelf parts that you can just slap onto your main storage and make a working system. And collaboration is the important part here, because even though I'm using pre-built components, actually putting them together into a functional storage system is no trivial task. Phrygion also went that extra mile and coded up this epic S-carpet application known as Storage Tech Aid. Using this script, all you need to do is paste in a list of item names into some code, and then if you run the script, it gives you this magic hopper which when placed, will paste in a line of hoppers containing the items correctly configured as item filters. You cannot begin to imagine how much time this saves. I honestly believe you could build a main storage in survival from a schematic faster than you can design it from scratch in creative. So apps like the Storage Tech Aid make things so much easier when rapidly prototyping item sorters. So how about a round of applause for these mad lads for making all of our lives just a bit easier. Alright, that's enough bootlicking. Now back to the storage. Adding up the amount of slots in each slice, we get 9 plus 5 times 3 plus 54 times 2. This gives us 132 spaces in total. Now consider that we store our items in shulker boxes, which can store 1,728 64 stackables or 432 16 stackables. The result is that our slices can store a total of 228,064 stackables or 57,000 16 stackables. This is pretty decent, but some items we might want even more storage for. In order to prevent the slices from overflowing and items being lost, if this hopper right here is full because all of these chests are full, it will no longer pull items straight through from the box loader. Instead, this hopper right here will push newly filled boxes into this dropper line. Then we have a water channel which collects these newly filled boxes and dispatches them to our bulk system. Ah yes, the bulk system. Now this has got to be one of the most exciting features of this entire storage. The storage density of this system will blow your mind. Ta-da! Ah, I had you fooled for a moment, didn't I? If you've seen my instant item sorting video, you might remember this as an interface I introduced for using items to represent much larger quantities of that particular item. In that video, I had each item representing a single shulker box. However, in this case, if I were to request a particular item type, such as these gold blocks, by simply chucking it into the honey block right there, each one of these items represents 9 shulker boxes full of that item. This means that between these two double chests at the interface, we can store up to 100 million items. This is simply the output where we can grab our boxes, and let's say our storage slice for gold blocks doesn't have much to be desired currently. We can just take some boxes from the bulk, stick them into the slice and restock it like so. The bulk also has an inbuilt item sorter. So if I have boxes already neatly organized and full like this, I can send them directly to the bulk without having to wait for them to be fully emptied by the item sorter. So I put these boxes in. They will then be dispatched to the bulk item sorter, which is simply just another box sorter. An amazing benefit of using this bulk system is the way that it manages the stock level and how that stock level is presented to the player. Every single one of the storage slices has an item filter which is used to decode the item that you send from the interface. So when you request an item from the bulk, it will physically reduce the stock level from here as the item gets sucked up by the filter and stored in these droppers. This item will also be replaced every time you send 9 boxes of that item to the storage. I asked Elmengo if he could design a trinary counter, which is pretty much just a counter which counts to 3. And he made this really awesome design, which is one by Tileable. And by stacking 2 of them in series, you get this one counts to 3, and this one counts to 3 times 3, which is 9. So every time the box sorter for a slice receives 9 boxes of that item, an output will be sent from this 9 times counter to the dropper, dispatching another item to the interface. This means we have a perfectly closed loop system for managing the stock level. In my opinion, this should be a revolutionary change to the way we manage bulk systems. But let me know down in the comments, would you use this bulk system? So cool storage bro, but can it actually sort? I wanted to find a nice sample of chaotically mixed boxes in order to test the storage system. I started by looking on the SciCraft creative copy. However, we already have a massive storage system which does item sorting for us. So we're just way too organized. But then it hit me. There is a perfect place where I can find disorganized shulker boxes, presenting the Hermitcraft server from Season 6. And as much as I can stand around here for hours admiring this on 32 render distance, I have some chest monsters to hunt down. In fact, I've already gone and found some deposits of boxes and chests from a number of locations. One of the most helpful ones has to be Green's very well organized chest monster. And I say well organized in terms of the fact that I was in need of chaotically mixed boxes. All I did was round them all up, put them into chests. I'd use the creative mode, control pick block trick to copy the chest MBT. Then I can save the chest into a hotbar, allowing me to migrate the shulker boxes and their inventories over to my storage system. Pretty neat, huh? And some of you might criticize me for using a decorative player's work in my own production. However, you need to realize that despite the apparent divide we see between technical and decorative players, both of these playstyles share a stunning resemblance. Where a technical player uses their inherited knowledge of redstone and game mechanics to perfect contraptions over time, a builder applies pretty much the same principles using their knowledge of colours and shapes. The technical players can make resources used for building easier to obtain and manage, while builders can actually make our contraptions look nice. So here are all the shulkers that I collected from the Hermitcraft server. In order to analyze the inventories of these shulker boxes, I just placed them all down in chests above a shulker box unloader and analyzed them using hopper counters. Like so. The results are very interesting. About 184,000 items in total, scattered amongst 239 shulker boxes. Perhaps the most intriguing result is that when we plot the relative quantities of items, we get a pattern which resembles Zipf's law. Now Zipf's law is seen pretty much anywhere that humans are given a choice over a large range of variables. And so it makes perfect sense we would see it in the case where players in a block game are given a choice over what blocks to use, which I find quite exciting. So this shulker box unloader pretty much represents your conventional item sorter, which just removes items from the boxes one at a time. With about 184,000 items being unloaded at hopper speed, which is 9,000 items per hour, it took about 20 hours to fully sort all of these shulker boxes that I collected from the Hermitcraft server. With about 240 shulker boxes placed into this item sorter, however, we get a very different result, because it is pretty much able to parallelize the sorting of every single item type that you input into the system. The result is that it took only 2.6 hours to sort all of these shulker boxes. That is about 10 times the speed of just using your bog standard item sorter. With 20,000 dirt being sorted at hopper speed alone, it takes 2.2 hours to fully unload all of the shulker boxes full of dirt. Meaning, with a total sorting time of 2.6 hours, we pretty much perfectly parallelize the sorting of all of these items. And we can walk around the storage system and see the results of this sorting operation. Let's grab our boots. Oh, crap. Oh, right, these are the 32k ones. Alright, let's grab the correct boots this time. And we can go and explore all the items that we've collected from the Hermitcraft server. So obviously, cobble and stone are quite common, so we've actually managed to fill up boxes for that. Our most common item, dirt, has the most boxes. And our overflow has collected all the items that are unstackable or have custom MBT data, like player heads, and all the random items that the hermits tended to rename and hand to each other. In fact, I think an overpowered item sorter is probably the perfect way to find all the various memorabilia from the season. Ah yes, I don't think he was very happy with that blast chamber. So there we have it. The chest monster is finally dead. And apparently it's on fire as well. And I am exhausted after working on this storage system for so long. I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to check out the world download for this storage system in the description and try it out yourself to see if it's any good. I might do a follow-up video focusing on the bulk system if enough of you find it useful. Also, feel free to use the storage as inspiration for your own storage system. So that will be all, and I'll see you next time.